Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat, head pulled down over your eyes. Every part of you wants to surrender, but darling, you were meant to survive. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head. Just like a seed in a garden, you will grow to be tall, staring out over miles of land without it, but wanting to build up walls. Lift me up in your branches, we can watch the sunrise. Just a couple of bruised up souls that believe that it was worth one more try. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head.
Hi everyone, hope that video was inspiring. I do feel inspired with this whole project, but I started off like this, a 16:9 monitor and a load of boxes I was experimenting with to see if I can build a good retro system that will cover my range of hardware. Of course, then I bought one of these, get the aspect ratio a little bit better, it's in the right format, but of course then I lost an HDMI and most of these run on HDMI. Also, of course, it's missing EGA and CGA. It's something that I need with my new Toshiba and my C128D. I need that functionality. So what did I do? I went to Google. I typed in 19-inch, 4:3 aspect ratio, IPS. Now, of course, you can see there's a nice EZO monitor up there for $279. There's a nice Dell one here for £184. They're the right aspect ratio. They're IPS, but they only have they don't have everything you need, all the inputs. Having said that, this one at the beginning, this caught my eye, and this is an industrial 19-inch monitor. If you scroll down, you'll notice that it has some great inputs. It's even got HDMI. It's HDMI VGA, normal ones. It's got BNC as well, which is really useful. This is for video studios, that kind of thing. So that kind of spurred me on. But of course, they look industrial. I want something that's a bit more interesting. I want something that's a bit more aesthetically pleasing. I want something that looks like this. Now, the secret to this monitor, apart from the great design, is the pods. And the pods give it expandability and modularity that you just can't get elsewhere. At the bottom pod, you can see all the standard inputs. There's your VGA, HDMI. You've got two BNC composite inputs. You've also got above them two phono composite inputs. There's also a third BNC that is for composite output. There's also a component input, which is absolutely fantastic. That's completely standard. This is the GPS pod. This gives you RGB SCART input. It gives you component input, but non-interlace as well as interlace, which the standard system only has interlace component input. But it also has CGA and EGA inputs. So it really covers most of the needs that you'll have. Now, of course, you'll probably notice there's two extra products there. There's a RetroTink, and on the right is a stack of boxes. Basically, that's my RetroTink 2X Mini. Fantastic product, absolutely pinnacle product. Really amazing quality you get from that. But it comes at a price, and also the Minis no longer exist. You can't get them, so you have to buy the Pro version if you just want to add S-Video, which is like $130. So I've been experimenting, buying a whole load from Asia, get them over. The one I really like is the one at the front. And they're at £25. We can do them. In fact, if you look at the original video, the beginning of this video, the Atari 800 was going through that adapter. So it gives you a really nice S-Video quality. But it's also an RF to HDMI output, which I've been experimenting. You may have seen the video. In fact, actually, the beginning of this video is my Atari 2600, which is going through that RF adapter. So we will be putting those in as extra pods, or trying to build them into maybe the GBS pod. But ultimately, you can expand the monitor internally. You can probably see behind me the bag. We also have a bag, so if you want to take this out and want to go on to meetings, then it's absolutely fantastic for carrying around. So what's it all going to cost? People are asking me that for the last 6 months, but I couldn't say what the price, purely because of the cost of the dollar, etc. Now, as you know, on the Kickstarter, I've actually dropped the price by £20. That was because my country's exchange rate recovered quite a bit, and so I did the calculations again. And originally I wanted it to be $239, but it couldn't happen at that. So $249 for the chassis. So you can see there the price, £249. An IPS panel. At the moment, we're doing this on the exchange rate, but it shouldn't change too much. About £120. It gives you a price of $369. Now, if you're trying to save money, you can buy the TN panel, which is a fantastic looking panel. It just has that off-axis problem to the right, which TN panels do have. The quality is great, and that's £80. So you could save yourself £40. And underneath that is a GBS control pod. Now, the GBS control pod gives you the RGB SCART, gives you the EGA and CGA, and gives you that really good quality component. It also comes with GBS control the unit, so that gives you all the flexibility to create your own profiles, stretch, move, etc., etc. Whatever you want to do with that display, and also gives things like interlace scan lines. So if you're playing a game and you want to put those authentic CRT kind of scan lines in, you can add them as well. Okay, so I hope you'll back this Kickstarter. I realise it's not the cheapest monitor, but I think, as you can see from earlier on, it's not expensive monitor. It really isn't an expensive monitor. But it does cost a little bit more than your cheap panels, okay? Because there's an awful lot of money gone into designing the look. And this is not 3D printed like some people suggested. This is a proper injection molded quality, the same as we've done with our cases. And unfortunately, in the low volumes, it costs a little bit more. If I was Samsung, then it would cost a lot, probably half the price. But I'm not. So anyway, I hope you back it. I've put everything into it. There's a lot of people around me who've put a lot of effort into this. And we're really all hoping that you will back us on this and take a risk. Thank you.